You're watching Newtown on the Air, where we bring you behind the scenes of human interest stories and behind the headlines of public affairs. I'm your host, Susan Clancy, and today I'm super excited to introduce my co-host, Lisa Peterson, and our guest, Michelle Embree Ku. You know her as your neighbor, longtime Newtown resident, scientist PhD, hockey mom, and elected official. Welcome.
Hi. Hi, Michelle.
Thank you. So we promised that this is a conversation. We're not going to do any stump speeches and just have a nice casual little chat. So what would you want people to know about you if you only had 20 seconds?
Ooh, 20 seconds. I'm in an elevator with nobody. I'm not talking about campaign, just about me. I would say I'm a very friendly person. I'm authentic, although it's not so easy to do that when you're on camera. But I do enjoy being with people and just being myself. And I am not judgmental. I like to be accepting of people and try to understand them for who they are. And hopefully, as we go up and down the elevator for those 20 seconds, I can accept the person who's in the elevator with me.
I love it.
That's great. That's great.
Awesome.
So as we head into Mother's Day weekend, you know, mother, daughter, wife, what other roles would you call yourself?
Ooh, well, elected official is something that definitely I spend a lot of time on and have done so over the past 14, 15 years since we've moved to Newtown. And working. I enjoy my scientific career. I just started working again 4 years ago. And I took a hiatus from my science career for a little bit when I was raising the kids here in Newtown. And it was really good to get back into the science and something I really enjoy doing.
That's great.
That's awesome. So we're going to do a quick little breezy get to know you. What is one word your kids would use to describe you?
I think I'm pretty easygoing. I don't tend to be too demanding of them.
I can see that.
Yeah. I'm a very
I was telling someone that about you yesterday.
free range kind of parent.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So are you a coffee or a tea person?
Definitely coffee. I think maybe it's I need that strong coffee taste, although I do water it down or dilute it with a lot of cream and sugar so that it tastes better. I don't know. I like the strong taste, but I also like a lot of sweet.
The sweet stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, sweet and strong.
Sounds like coffee ice cream.
Yeah. Ice cream. I love ice cream. It's my weakness for sure.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm an early bird for sure.
Yeah.
Even now, like I find myself waking up at 5:30 now that the sun is coming out
right.
earlier. It's harder in the winter, but yeah, I've always been an early bird, especially working around horses. I've spent a lot of my post-college years working around horses, and that even during college, I mean, I used to get up at 5 in the morning to go muck stalls. So that's I'm an early birder.
Yeah, and horses are early birders too, definitely.
Yes.
So what is something people would be surprised to learn about you?
So I have a gate in the front of my house that I built with my father that I'm very proud of. I don't know that anybody knows that I built that gate, but it is sort of an intricate gate that falls between the stone wall, the opening in the stone wall, and then I put in stone stairs in there as well. It's a little bit off kilter now because it's been 16 years now since we put it in, so it gets a little bit crooked, and my kids took it out a couple of years ago and restained it, and we rebalanced everything, but it's still a little bit wonky.
Wow.
But I enjoy, my dad was always a carpenter, and I kind of enjoyed doing that with him.
Sounds like a fun project.
Yeah.
Definitely a nice treasure at your house.
Yeah.
That's great. So we're going to talk a little bit about your origin story now, get to know you even deeper. And so, did you always know you were going to be the responsible one?
Responsible. That's like a heavy weight. I don't know. I mean, as the oldest child, I'm the oldest of two, and that's sort of the reputation we get as being the responsible one, right?
Especially the sister.
Especially the sister, yeah. So maybe, yeah. I guess the answer is yes.
Yeah.
So tell us where you were born, and also, what kind of hobbies you had as a kid, or favorite topics in school.
Yeah, so I was born in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, and then my family moved to Evanston, which is a suburb north of Chicago, when I was very young, and bought a house that was in total disrepair. That's where my dad's carpentry skills come into play. They redid the whole house and got it very, very cheap. Wow. So we were able to, and it was a fantastic school system. I feel very lucky to have been able to go to the public schools in Evanston, Illinois. They were really good. And so that's where I grew up, Evanston, until I went to college. And I loved horses even back then, but never got to ride because we were in the city. And so I played basketball instead, basketball and soccer. Those were kind of my two sports that I loved playing instead of riding horses.
And tell us more about basketball.
Yeah, so I played basketball in high school and ended up being recruited to play in college. I played my first year in college and then wasn't getting a lot of playing time, and there was Cornell is a big agricultural school, and so there was a big horse arena, and so got into working in the barns and sort of took off on switched my degree to an animal science major, and sort of found who I wanted to be while I was in college. So yeah, basketball was the beginning of my horse career.
And Newtown is known for horses as well. So how did you select Newtown as your place to live and settle down?
Ooh, so my husband and I met at Pfizer in Groton, Connecticut, years and years and years ago. We were playing roller hockey together. That's how we met. And we were both working there. I went to school up in Providence, Rhode Island, after working at Pfizer for several years, and he remained there and then lost his job in a downsizing, as so many Americans did in 2009. And so we moved. He found a new job here at Beringer Ingelheim, and we moved here for his job. I stopped working I was doing a postdoctoral fellowship in Rhode Island at the Rhode Island Hospital. And we had 3 boys at that point, and so I took some time off and homeschooled the boys for a little while we were moving. Yeah, it was a very fun, adventurous time of our lives, but we moved here for his job is the reason that we moved to Newtown.
Yeah. So as we think about family life, and how did you actually decide Newtown was the right town? Because Beringer Ingelheim's in Ridgefield, and you could have lived there.
True. Yeah, we looked all over the place for a long time. And we explored all the communities around the area, everywhere from, Wilton to Ridgefield to New Milford, New Fairfield. And Newtown was the place that we looked for 3 things when we came here. In every town we looked at the library, the school system, and the senior center. Those were 3 things that we were really interested in finding in the community, in addition to a home that we wanted. But Newtown the library just was amazing. When we walked in, they were so friendly and helped us, find a realtor in the area, and it was just it was so welcoming. And the senior center at the time had a little bit lacking, and so it's good to see the new senior center really adding to the community. And the school system it was amazing So yeah, I was homeschooling at the time because it took us so long to get around to moving, and we were sort of in limbo for a while, but knowing that we were coming here for an incredible public school system was part of the move.
So what was life like as a parent in the Newtown school system? Like, what was it like for school drop-offs or navigating the different schools as your kids went through them?
I don't know, the school drop-offs. Yeah, I mean, I'll remember all the lines, sitting in line, waiting for the kids to come out of school. Mostly when we first moved here, I remember they did not want to take the buses. And it took a lot of doing to get them on the bus, and they had a bus driver who was very kind to them, who I later got to know through the local government. He served in local government for several years, and he's still doing so. And so it was a way of my getting involved in local government too, because he asked me if I wanted to participate in a charter revision commission that he was part of finding people to participate in. So yeah, it was the schools kind of led to just my dabbling into local government as well.
So would you say that's your kind of turning point when you realized I need to do something?
I think I did that just because it was something to do to, I don't know, contribute to the community. And so I don't know that I would have necessarily continued doing that. I mean, it was fun to know that I was contributing. I think what made me feel like this is what I need to do, I stopped working. I just did volunteer work in the community altogether was when the Sandy Hook tragedy took place. And that's when so many people stepped up in the community to volunteer to help, bring in all the gifts and everything that were coming in, and making sure that those were being treated in the way that people wanted them to be distributed or whatever. And it was, I think that was the point at which I realized I wanted to get involved in gun violence prevention. So I did a lot of that year, 2013, and it was really satisfying to see some of the gun laws that were passed in Connecticut that year. But yeah, I think that was the turning point where I really felt like, I really need to do something that feels like I'm making a difference in the world.
Right.
Right, and since then you were on the Board of Ed and Selectmen and Legislative Council, so you seem like you've always been expanding your community service. So what drives you to do that?
Being asked to do more. Yeah, I mean, every time somebody asks me to do something, I have a hard time saying no. But it's also a matter of wanting to do it, because I seek out those opportunities as well. So when I was on the Board of Education, I got involved in the statewide Connecticut Association of Boards of Education, and that was really satisfying to be a part of that. And so it was a little bit of both, just being asked to do things as well as seeking out new and different things and ways to contribute to the community.
And I'm wondering, when people ask you to do more, are you thinking it's because you did a good job on something and they saw your ability, or why do you think they asked you to do more?
I guess you hope. I think that's the hope, is that you did something that people value. I mean, hopefully they wouldn't ask you to come back if you didn't do something that was productive and useful in the community. But that's part of the reward of being a volunteer in the community, is being able to interact with people and have them say, yeah, thank you for doing what you're doing, and meeting new people. That's the other piece that's really rewarding about it.
What do you think the words your colleagues would say about you?
Ooh. Talking about, like, maybe the people that I work with on elected boards and commissions, and I mean, I think, I'm very analytical about things, and that's why I enjoy it. Sort of melds my scientific career with my volunteer work, and I really like the analytical piece of trying to figure out how to make things better when you come upon a problem. And maybe 3 words: authentic. I mean, I like to think that I'm honest and tell people exactly how I feel about things. How about athletic? I'm super athletic. No, I don't know that anybody would say that, but in my own mind,
Yes.
a super athlete.
Yes. Oh, I like that. That's good to know.
So do you have a secret formula for building coalitions?
Ooh, a secret formula. I wouldn't reveal it here if it's a secret. I don't know. I don't know how. I think that authentic piece is what allows people to know where you're coming from, know what you want, and be able to build those coalitions. I think that's why, and being able to tell people why it's important to be involved in doing something, and be able to communicate that with people.
That's great. Has anyone ever asked you how they can get involved? And have you ever helped someone kind of take a role that they didn't think they could do?
Ooh, so many times. That's one of the great things about being involved, because I remember, the people who inspired me to get involved. I remember Pat Lodra, one of our former first selectmen, and she was very encouraging to me to get involved, and the former bus driver who asked me to get involved in the Charter Revision Commission. I think that's the way. I mean, Newtown is so full of volunteers, and it depends so much on our volunteers to have a functioning government and to make sports teams work and all that goes on in Newtown. And so having people who can maybe not recruit or inspire others to get involved is so important. And I remember those conversations that I had that inspired me to get involved. And so there have been definitely people who, young people. There was a former legislative council member who I know got involved because I asked her that if she would please
Nice.
get involved. And there are young people who definitely have worked on my campaigns who have asked how to get involved, and then hopefully they go off and do great things in the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up already, right?
Yeah.
Can you believe it? What do you hope people feel when they hear your story?
Ooh. I hope, ideally, I would love to think that people could be inspired to do, just like we were talking about, to be a volunteer and help out in the community, whether it's running for elected office to make a change in things that they want to see changed, or volunteering to be on a commission, or helping coach a team for kids, or teaching, going into the schools and helping teach a science class, or because that's something in my career field where they provide us kits so that we can go into the classrooms and teach specific subjects. So I think that would be what I hope people think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what do you want them to learn about you during this campaign?
Learn about me.
Yes.
I think, I don't know, what I really would like is to be able to stay true to myself. And I think every time I run for office, it both gets easier and harder. It gets easier to be true to myself because I know that I can put myself out there and people will accept it. And maybe if they don't, that's fine too. I've been able to contribute to the community, and so knowing that acceptance is there, but also it gets harder because there are times when the more public you are, the more out there you are, the more people know you. You also face a lot more criticism too, and that's sort of difficult sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. This has been fun.
It has been
I had a
fun.
great
Thanks,
time.
Michelle.
Thank you for having me in. I enjoyed this.
And thank you for watching Newtown on the Air. Join the conversation because your story belongs here. We'll see you next week.